Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to Countercharge. I'm Ravenov.
And I'm Matt Groger. And what we're going to talk about today from the New Fracture book is the Forces of Abyss army primer of what changes do we see in the book for this army. Not so long ago, got a whole bunch of new models, Rob. So I think for me, it was surprising that it wasn't amongst the earliest of releases. But, you know, here we are at book 2. They're getting a little bit of a glow up. Not sure it's as much of a glow up as some of the others.
It probably, out of the 4 armies that have had glow ups, this might be the least impactful. But I will tell you right now, this army has my favorite new command. I think it's freaking amazing. I don't know if it's going to be great on the table, but I'm just going to laugh and cackle like a freaking succubi as I'm pulling these people apart. You know, I'm really, really excited about that. So,
will you be dancing naked like a succubi as well, Rob?
More like a warlock, though, because I'm not no succubi or no Laura Abyssal. Or I might be a tortured soul that's been drugged down for doing bad things.
On that, should we jump straight into the command orders?
Yes, let's do it. So, Unholy Shield, Burn the Sinners, is now called Hellfire. So, it has the same effect, and it's Fireball N+2 this turn. So, again, a little underwhelming, but we're saving the best for last.
Then we've got Flesh Knit, which is new, although kind of not new. It was there at the end of 3rd. Units with the regeneration rule only gain +1 regeneration.
Next up, we have Blessing of the Gods, which is a 5+. It's units charging this unit only gain elite combat, vicious combat, but take ND3 +2 damage before rolling. You're summoning, you know, the favor of the dark gods. For that, you're getting elite and vicious, which can be powerful. And there's no trait restriction here, right? So it's straight up whatever. But you're potentially going to take some damage, which does not cause a nerve test.
This is a little bit like what was the original iteration of that magic item? Helm of something?
Blood of the Old King.
I mean, obviously your prime targets are that as something you think is still going to survive a turn. So, and I think with something with regeneration, so you can get those wounds back. But there's plenty of stuff with regeneration. So I think there's some pretty tasty targets for that as a command. And then we've got Ultimate Betrayal 5+. Upper circle only. An enemy attacking this unit uses this unit's melee and crushing strength values.
You still get your magical artifacts. It's inverted doppelganger. So you attack somebody, and it's upper circles. So you're talking about lower abyssals, right? I mean, succubi are also there, but typically going to put them on crap units.
Yeah.
So they charge in and like, oh, by the way, you're using this unit's ME, which, you know, maybe you're moving to a 5+, and they don't have crushing strength. When I saw this, I'm like, this is cool, man.
And again, I like these ones where they're 5+, that there is the chance of failure, you know, particularly if it's only on 2 dice, but still even if it's on 3, that is cool. I mean, that's going to, because that completely changes the movement dynamics, right? And also has the potential for some people to change how they might build their list. They might change and say have a more extensive trash first line of defense than what they would have otherwise in order to kind of maximize the opportunities for this command.
And we should mention that if 2 units are charging this unit, only one of the units can be affected. So you can't abuse it too much.
It's not like flesh hooks.
Correct. And let's get to the new spells. Yes, with an S, because there's more than one. And Matt, this is what I've alluded to in the past in different primers. There is a spell that is very complicated, but I think it's cool. But I do have questions because I'm not smart. So you will be able to tell me how this will actually work. So this first spell is called the Dark Pit. It's unique, and it's Dark Pit 2. It's 30 points. Place a 40 millimeter marker within 12 inches. It projects Dread and Cloak of Death onto enemies. It's open terrain. Does not block line of sight. Removed at the start of your next turn. You're basically throwing out this disc, and then there's a source of Dread and Cloak of Death. There are units that had Dread and Cloak of Death, but Now it's a spell, so it's a 12-inch range, but effectively a 24-inch bubble around that spellcaster.
And I think your Warlock's already remained a fair bit of a staple in this list. For me, 30 points to buff your combat, I think is excellent.
You ready for your head to explode?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm a Forces of the Abyss player. And I'm trying to think. I do actually have Forces of the Abyss that I did for the Blue Sea Brawl last year. So I do have Forces of the Abyss. So I cast this spell. And I put it in the middle of the woods. Okay? And I cast it right on another unit. So the center of that unit is covered by this dark pit marker. The dark pit marker is open terrain. To be in the woods, you have to have the center of the unit in the woods. But you're not in the woods. You're in open terrain. So tell me how that works. I like your reaction. Because this is the kind of Rob thinks about.
Americans. I don't think that'll be how it was intended. And the thing is too, right, is that particularly if you're putting it on something that's in combat, it's already charged and been affected by terrain as it moved.
At least I got to think about something, right? I got, maybe this is going to be the new cover.
I'm glad that everything that's been going on for you, mate, that you still retain the ability to think. So that's good.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, you want to take us into the second spell, which is also pretty neat?
I think you did say it, but Dark Pit's only 2 dice. So, and it's unique. So again, it's not like, I don't think that's overpowered, right? So.
Now, what is that, like a 66% chance to get a 4 on 2 dice?
Something like that. So, and you can only take it on 1 spell user. So, but the next one is Whispers of Wickedness. 3 dice, also unique for 15 points, 24 inches, close combat. Enemies issuing a command order to the affected unit, subtract 1 from each command dice. This is hot.
Andy Patton, I'm shoving this up your. You're trying to cast plus 1 defense on your Sallies because it's not less dice. It's literally you have to go one target to 1 higher. So if you needed 5s, now you need 6s. If you need 4s, you need 5s. Ooh, I like it.
And this is one for the tacticians, right? So the people that love their tactical play, the high-level gamers, this gets more powerful. There's a nice byplay here of, like, what do you really want in your army list? Yeah, yes, you could take both, but you're not going to be able to necessarily cast both unless you've got 2 magic users. Yeah, I like that. That's very nice.
They're going to have a combat next turn, or they're going to have, or they're already in combat and they're going to drop a really key command. This makes them think they're like, oh man, I needed 4. Now I need 5. And if it's a champion, it's only 2 dice. And it really, like, for 15 points, that's in a 24-inch range. If you didn't have spellcasters in the list, you better ought to now, because both of these spells are interesting.
They should have called that one Anti-Green Rage.
So that's the spells. What do you want to go to next? Should we touch on the new units that in some cases are brand new, in some cases they've come back in a new vision of life, and they've not been, to be fair to Kyle and Ronnie, they have not hidden the fact that the Abyssal Guard were going to return at some point. So and they've had a bunch of different Abyssal Guard STLs available on the vault. I'm excited to see these guys back. My very small, I think it's only like 1,100 points. Forces of this army has a couple regiments. So they're infantry troop at 140 and regiment at 180. They're a horde at 280. They didn't have that before. So speed 5, melee 3, defense 5, attacks 12, 15, 25. They're upper circle. So what command goes with upper circle? Well, you wouldn't want to put it on this unit because I don't want to give them melee 3 because they also have crushing strength 1.
No, but you do want to probably give them regen +1.
Yeah. So the regeneration 5+, and again, they can still exchange their shields and drop their defense to 4 and get an extra pip of crushing for free. So I'm excited to see these guys back. They don't have the old rules where you could, like, was it Oathbreakers? I can't remember. There was an upgraded unit that they gave them, like Pathfinder and some other stuff, I think. And they also used to rally Lower Abyssal, so that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. So interesting, that unit for me. I think particularly the Horde at 280 and the Regiment at 180, because I look at their stat line and I'm like, oh, what in the stat line makes them that expensive? I almost think there might be a little bit of a potential built into their points cost of combining with the different command orders like the regen +1.
I mean, defense 5 and then defense 5 and then now you have regen 4+.
Yeah.
And we should have
Because
mentioned that Fletchnik kind of replaces the old Nagari rule, right?
Yeah. Yes, from version 3.5. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure. So, because I think at base value, at a base stat line, I kind of look at that and go, they're not worth 280. But, with some of those combinations, I think, there's a little bit there. So that's good.
Yeah.
We've got the Heliquin Blood Mask of a unit limit of 2. I can't remember if this was an upgrade to another unit.
It wasn't an upgrade. It was just a character model, wasn't it? Hero Cavalry. Yeah, it's a hero. So yeah, this unit used to exist back in the day. Maybe it was one of the models from Vanguard was the Heliquin Blood Mask. Maybe.
Oh yeah, so I've got a Blood Mask. I think I printed a bunch of them because I hated the old generic horse. But I don't think it definitely wasn't in the first 4th list, was it?
Mm-mm.
No. So it's definitely new. Yes. So individual regeneration 5+, Thunder 1, Bloodseeker, +1 command dice when issuing to a friendly unit in the same combat. So that's interesting because it encourages you to get it into combat for one, which I don't think your characters do that frequently because you want them casting commands to the end of the game. And a battalion change up of 1 regiment of Abyssal Horsemen is a core choice. Ooh, that's tasty.
And then the last new unit is the how do we say this? Tane?
I'd say Tane.
Tane? Okay,
Tane?
well, this is the because they don't have enough flying characters in the list, so this is a new flying hero infantry. But he's 250 points, so he's obviously a warlord at that. I would assume at that point. Speed 8, Melee 3+, Defense 5, Attack 6, Crushing Strength 2, Fly, Individual, Inspire, Regeneration 5+, Vicious Combat, Fireball 4, and a new rule called Searing Pain. Units damaged by Tane can't recover damage by any means until their next turn. So for those longtime players that used to play First Edition, if you got hit by Fireball, you lost your regeneration for the game. This is kind of on that same take. For at least this turn, no regeneration, but also no heal, no Martyr's Prayer, no Celestial. That's cool, right?
That's a nice tactical one, isn't it?
I think it's very situational, but played in the right spot could be interesting.
Well, again, it doesn't specify whether combat, right? So it could be from its Fireball or combat, yeah.
But I'm thinking if he charges in with somebody else, like an Abyssal Guard unit, for example, and does a bunch of damage, you ain't regenerating those wounds back.
No.
We're coming in again. So
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
Anything that has that combination of ensnare or regen, yeah, it's I like that. That's cool. So let's go over briefly some of the changes. So Succubi has mild points increase, but they've regained regen 6+, which is cool in the combination of the command.
Yeah, because now you can get 5+. I believe they're still stealthy, and I think they're only defense 3, right?
Yeah. Yes, they are. Yeah.
So that's good. Makes them a little more survivable.
And they've got ensnare. I thought they were a tasty unit anyway, to be honest.
Well, and only a 5-point increase on the troop and only 10 on the regiment. I think I have Succubi in my list. So, and this will make my very good friend Matt Temple very happy to see this. Because number one, he's been dying for Abyssal Guard to come back. Well, there you go, brother. It's back on the menu.
Shock horror that's happened if Matthew Temple wanted it.
To be fair, way before he joined the playtest group, he was adamantly, we got to bring Abyssal Guard back. Because he had an army that has a bunch, I think his whole army was Abyssal Guard and Succubi. And it was oh. So I mean, he's got to be going, this is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invert doppelgang your ass.
Yeah. Well, I think so. The interesting thing about a lot of these changes is in the other couple of armies we've covered, mostly points tweaks, there's a fair bit of special rule changing in the Abyss list. So they've obviously gone, this isn't quite working how we want it to work, and given a big change up. So, for example, Berserkers have lost the crappy retaliate rule because they've obviously realised their defense 4, they don't survive that long anyway. So who are they retaliating against? and now they're fearless.
And Abyssal Horsemen, they actually went down in points, but they no longer have fearless. They have headstrong. Did they have headstrong originally, and then they made them have fearless, and now they're back to headstrong? I can't remember.
No, because in version 3.5, they were fearless. They were dash. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess fearless means you could get wavered from shooting, right?
Yes, correct. Yep. And so I think that's useful for Berserkers.
Okay, so we all know our very good friend Luke Schaefer is a big fan of wings and flyers. So I'm going to guess these guys are not on the menu any longer. and those would be Tortured Souls. They got a very significant, major rework. I mean, their points did go down by 10 points for both the troop and the regiment, so they're now 125 at the troop and 180 at the regiment. Their speed went from 8 to 7. Oh, and then here's the kick in the. Do they have balls? I don't know, but like they lost Crushing Strength 1, Fearless, and Fly, but they gained Headstrong, Pathfinder, Strider, and their Thunder Charge moved from 1 to 2. So they're now a fast ground unit rather than a flyer. So I need to think through that. I have Tortured Souls on my list.
It's a pretty significant change. I mean, I guess to me it feels like maybe they're trying to represent the theme and the model, the actual model better.
Right, because it does not have wings. It's literally like a guy, like some kind of demonic spirit that's chained up to the ground.
Except it's a soul, right? So like,
yeah, it's a soul.
Thematically, I don't mind that it flies, but instead, I think they've replaced that with something ethereal might not care about terrain.
Oh no, I'm a theme guy, Matt. My Tortured Souls were halfling souls, and they were flying on the base. I'm gonna have to remodel that. I can't bring those to the table. They're gonna be like, you don't have fly.
Well, we know that's not happening this year.
But what's interesting is they did have fly, and with the Crushing Strength, but now they have Strider with TC2. They're not going to be hindered.
Which is a big change to Phalanx this edition, is like it's specific to unit type and special rules. So without fly, they're not going to get stripped of it. So I think in some ways they have the potential to hit a bit harder. I mean, only speed 7, not sure if you're getting the charge off first anyway, but...
not a speed 7.
No. So... interesting change. And I mean, but to be fair, they're not that expensive either. So, like I said, I think what it seems like is they've attempted to represent the model better. And like I said, maybe rather than fly, souls don't care about terrain. So
100%.
I can get on board with that.
And we've got the Despoiler, Warlock, Harbinger, and the Ifrit all are limited to 2. They all went up by 5 points. The Ifrit now has a Spellcaster trait. And the Despoiler changed from Hero Large Infantry to Hero Monstrous Infantry. That makes sense because that model was huge, right? Like, I don't know how you'd fit it on a 40. I think you need a 50. And they have a new battalion rule. 1 regiment of Molochs is a specialist choice.
Yeah, I think I like some of this 1 stuff. I just hope Elliot doesn't bugger it up, because that's actually more intricate to build into a list builder, right? I hope that's done well. And then other than some other points changes, the Seductress is now 2 limited, is now a champion instead of Warlord. The attacks come down to 5, but gained regen 5+.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I wonder if that's going to make our friend happy, because he wants her to glow up. I don't know if that glows her up. I mean, I guess maybe if you think about it, at 195, it sort of felt like she should have been a champion all along.
She's still very good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, with Ensnare and Fly and, the rest. And an interesting change up here, the Abyssal Warlord got slightly more expensive at 180, lost Crappy Retaliate, and gained Demonic Will, which is issue command orders up to 15 inches, but a new battalion rule where the Abyssal Guard, regiments and hordes are core. I like that. I feel a bit odd about odd inches, 15 inches. There's not too many things like that. I'm like, just 12 or 18, like... It feels weird sometimes.
It's one more thing I got to remember that's special.
Yeah. I think there are some other things that are 15 inches in the game, but they're not common.
The Abyssal Warlord also makes Abyssal Guard regiments and hordes core. We should have mentioned when we talked about that unit that they're actually a specialist unit. So you still have the Archfiend. There's some changes, right? Points are still 315. He lost Retaliate. He's got Iron Resolve 1. New battalion rule. The Tortured Soul regiments are core. That's could be interesting. Plus, he gets a free Gruesome Host, which means Molochs are specialist, which is a lot better than that guy that just makes 1 unit specialist. But this guy's got attacks at 315. And favorite model in the game, period, Lord of Lies. He's won by 5 points. And, I think the Seeds of Distrust got a little bit better. Enemies within 6 inches now cannot be issued any command orders and lose an existing order if they move within 6. Like, I feel like this is an army of right? Like it's like there's a lot of things where we're making your commands harder. You can't have commands. We're giving you our melee.
It feels the theme with all these little changes, doesn't it? And which I think is cool. It's cool, to hell I curse thee. Basusu gets a new battalion rule. 1 unit of gargoyles becomes a core choice, not auxiliary. That's cool.
Are you really struggling for unlocks? I guess if you don't want to play Allure Abyssals, maybe. But
yeah, maybe. A Multibusu. Lost Retaliate, gained regen 5+, and new option to get the Whispers of Wickedness unique spell for 15 points. Yeah, I like a lot of these changes. What I like about the Lord of the Lies rule change is it's clarified a lot of questions people had about that Seeds of Distrust rule anyway.
No issuing of commands within 6. Any units with commands on them come within 6. And don't forget, he flies.
Yeah. If you've been in his bubble at any point, you haven't got a command. You know?
So I guess this would be good against flesh hooks, maybe.
Yeah. And like we had a little one-dayer, not the one I went to, but the one before that where I think he was used very successfully. So 350 points is a big tax, though.
This is the army of I want to not let you do what you want to do. It feels very Forces of the Abyss.
This now feels back more where we were at 3.5, where it was really attritional, right? It's like a lot of their rules aren't about powering their units up, but powering yours down. We're going to keep regenning the hell out of our units while we power yours down. Who's going to be the last person standing?
Very thematic.
I think overall, I was underwhelmed when I first read the Abyss changes, but I think when you get into the subtleties, there's a lot there. And again, not unlike the first Basalian changes, the commands change so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to really get this to the table. I just, like you, when I first read it, I was like, I'm a little underwhelmed. The number of changes weren't all that great, but there are very significant changes. And those command orders and 2 new unique spells. And I just love the fact that it gives a different play style, which is there's counters to some of the things people take for granted, like issuing commands. I think that's super cool. Well, I think we'll leave the Forces of the Abyss primer here. Just as a reminder, this Fracture book has a metric ton of thematic background. It's just oozing and dripping all the way down into the inner circles, right? So definitely pick this book up. It's well worth the read. Until next time, keep countercharging.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.